Since the emergence of interstellar civilization, power in the galaxy has derived from the core. Wealth, industry, and prestige were all concentrated there until its worlds became synonymous with prosperity and stability. But while the power of the core worlds could often dictate the fate of the colonies, the western reaches, or the other great territories, there remained a region that no government, neither the Galactic Empire or the Republic before, ever successfully subdued. It existed in contrast to the more civilized sectors of the galaxy, a rugged frontier where disputes were as often resolved by the barrel of a blaster than any governing authority, a region known as the Outer Rim Territories. Largely overlooked by those in the core, the Outer Rim nevertheless represents the single largest region of the galaxy. While there remains conflicting definitions and opinions as to where its boundaries lie, in the most general sense, the term Outer Rim refers to the furthest periphery of the galaxy, excluding the largely unexplored unknown regions or wild space. Hundreds of thousands of inhabited systems lie in the Outer Rim, but they are sparsely populated compared to those closer to the core. The most popular depictions of the Outer Rim portray it as a lawless place, a haven for smugglers, cartels, syndicates, and every manner of scum and villainy. While this has no doubt been exaggerated and created an unfair stereotype of those in the Outer Rim, there is also a great deal of truth behind it. Even during the height of the Galactic Empire, no single credible authority ever exerted more than sporadic control over the entirety of the region. The political void present in the Outer Rim has allowed the Hutt clan, Pike Syndicate, and many other criminal organizations to operate with impunity, sharing power with armed militias, sector dictators, and local warlords. Every government that has made inroads in the Outer Rim has done so by working with the least objectionable of these groups, in each instance intending to fully dismantle them once control of the region had been established. Ultimately, however, such plans proved unrealistic, or new groups moved in to fill the vacuum left by the decline of the old. This systematic rejection of outside rule is perhaps the only value that truly unites the Outer Rim. In the earliest days of the Old Republic, the region was settled by pioneers who sought to escape the civilizing grasp of the core. In subsequent generations, the relationship between the Outer Rim and inner territories was often tense and sometimes violent. With the rise of the Galactic Republic, a combination of booming trade between the regions and the impartial mediation of the Jedi led to one of the most stable eras in the Outer Rim's history. By the outset of the Clone Wars, however, fair trade had been replaced by exploitation, and the Jedi had become too weak to counter the growing influence of corporations or local nationalistic sentiment. Emboldened by a series of ineffective chancellors, organizations like the Trade Federation began exerting a great deal of influence across the region. Under the leadership of Dooku, a count of the Outer Rim world Sereno, a growing coalition of corporate interests and political idealists stoked and manipulated public sentiment. They characterized the Outer Rim territories as overburdened and oppressed by the core worlds, their resources stripped away for the enrichment and betterment of others. When the Confederacy of Independent Systems declared its secession from the Galactic Republic, the Separatists achieved enormous success in the Outer Rim, with tens of thousands of systems rallying behind Count Dooku. Some of the first and last battles of the war were fought in the Outer Rim as the Republic pushed the Confederacy out of the core and laid siege to its remaining strongholds. Even after their formal defeat, secessionist holdouts continued to resist the Galactic Republic, and later its successor state, the Galactic Empire. Under Imperial rule, the Outer Rim was subject to increased attempts to establish a strong autocracy. Operating under the theory that firmly controlling the Outer Rim would stabilize and secure the galactic center, nearly every world was subject to Imperial occupation. Simultaneously, immense industrial and economic expansion programs were implemented across the region, and a renewed crackdown began on local criminal elements. Frustrated by its inability to firmly control the region, the Empire's policies towards the local populations grew exponentially harsher. Under Wilhuff Tarkin, regional governor of the Outer Rim, entire worlds were conscripted into forced labor. At the same time, the region's distance from the Imperial Senate made it an ideal place to test and develop experimental weapons, culminating in the construction of the DS-1 battle station in orbit of Geonosis. The destruction of that same battle station by the Alliance to restore the Republic firmly entangled the Outer Rim in the escalating galactic civil war. The Alliance fleet was dispersed across the region, and several secret bases constructed to hide rebel facilities and personnel. The death of the Emperor in the Battle of Endor fragmented Imperial control in the region, and within 30 days of its declaration, the first Outer Rim systems had formally joined the New Republic. Even with the end of the Civil War, the New Republic proved less capable than the Empire in subduing the more radical elements of the Outer Rim. Major crime syndicates returned to the territory, and even decades after the fall of the Empire, the New Republic existed throughout the Outer Rim in name only. For every government that has attempted to exert its authority across the galaxy, the Outer Rim has persisted as a reminder that power has its limits. Neither the New Republic, Galactic Empire, or any regime that has come before has ever successfully made an impact here, and life has continued much in the same way it always has, no matter what flags are raised on Coruscant. It remains a place of unrivaled opportunity, where anyone can make a name and career for themselves provided they have the strong will and fast ship needed to survive. Every day, 1,000 shady deals are made by those forced to operate on both sides of the law, and clandestine meetings are held in abandoned Imperial, Rebel, Separatist, or even Sith ruins, monuments to those who tried to tame the Outer Rim and failed. Attention Institute personnel. We'll be heading to the Outer Rim world of Chicago this weekend, so if you're attending Star Wars Celebration, keep an eye out for us. We'll have details of any potential meet and greets on social media. Until then, though, if you wanted answers to some of the most important questions surrounding the Templin Institute, check out our first ever Q&A video, which was just released on the Templin Archives channel.